What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Linear Listens. I'm your host, Daniel Park, and today I'm joined by a very special guest, Mr. Jones. How you doing, Mr. Jones?
Doing all right. How are you, man?
I'm doing pretty well myself. And today we're going to be talking about something that Mr. Jones won this year, which is a very special award. If you guys don't know yet, if you guys haven't been part of the Linear community, it's called Teacher of the Year. And, once again, shout out to Mr. Jones for winning Teacher of the Year for 2020.
Just doing my job. Just doing my job.
Thank you. Hey, I have him for peer leadership and AP Psych, and I just want to say, man, Mr. Jones is a great teacher. Take the classes, man. He's a great person
that's right.
to
Sign up for AP Psych. Everybody. And peer leadership. Join the party. Come on.
Let's go.
Wait, let me show you this. I know that I'm not supposed to leave, but this is the most outrageous thing I've ever seen in my life. Look at it.
Yo, I would want to have that in my room.
It's like the size of my entire body. I don't know what to do with it. So it's not like I can't sell on eBay or anything. It has my name on it. So
are you going to hold it in your classroom or are you going to take it to your house?
Maybe in my house, put it above the fireplace. I think my wife would really love that.
That sounds good. So yeah, today we'll be talking about Mr. Jones and what it means for him to be a teacher. So yeah, let's get started off with the questions. Mr. Jones, I just want to ask you first off, how does it feel to win Teacher of the Year? And, does it give you more motivation to become a better teacher? Just anything that you may feel.
Yeah, so it's an honor to be Teacher of the Year because the teachers vote on it. It's not like Dr. Martin decides or the administrators decide. My colleagues, so the people that I work alongside with every single day, they get to vote on it. So it makes me feel validated in the sense that I have not annoyed them to death, with my advisement videos and all my emails and questions and things like that. So that feels nice. In terms of does it motivate me, it's kind of actually the opposite. It's kind of like, okay, I'm Teacher of the Year. This is it. This is me. I've peaked. This is the high point of my life. It's all downhill from there. So that's something I have to kind of challenge myself to try and keep getting better, which is tough with COVID stuff. I kind of want to be I got my trophy. I can retire now. But I'm 30 years old. I can't retire yet. So
sounds good. So wait, do you have anything else that you want to achieve after you won Teacher of the Year? Anything that you want to go above and beyond?
That's a good question. In my first year teaching, when I was teaching 8th grade, all of my students passed their end of year test. So I would love to have a year where all 100% of my AP Psych students pass their AP Psych exam. That's sort of the big goal, the big target. But my other goals are, Lanier. I want Lanier to be ranked as one of the top, few high schools in the county. So just helping Lanier become the best it can be.
What are your greatest joys when you're teaching students?
I love it when I can teach and a student who has had trouble understanding a concept when they get it. You know what I mean? When the light bulb goes off.
Yeah.
I think that brings me the most joy. I had a student a week or two ago who said that she was having trouble with the concept. And I was like, well, let me work on it with you. And she was like, I don't really want to work on it. And I was like, well, if you don't get it, we're going to work on it. And she was kind of hesitant, but we spent some time on this concept. And by the end of the class, she was actually able to teach it to other people in her class. And that's made me feel good as a teacher, that I can explain something to someone in such a way that they feel comfortable teaching it to others and passing it on. So that's what I want.
What are some of the hard things about being a teacher?
Teaching is exhausting. I feel like I'm doing a performance in the sense that I want to tell stories in such a way that keep my students engaged and also are changing their brains so they'll remember these key concepts in the future. So I don't know if you've ever been involved in a play or a concert, but I feel like I'm having to put on a performance almost in terms of having engaging activities and going back and forth and getting this person involved, this person involved. But it's also an improv show because I never know what's going to happen in the class, right? I don't know when I'm going to get erupted and someone's going to come in with a pass for a student, or there's going to be a fire drill, or the technology might stop working. So it's every day, every class period is this very exhausting, interactive performance that things pop up. So it's a struggle to keep students engaged while also learning. And I'm tired at the end of the day. So I feel that's the hardest part for me, is how exhausted I am, especially having to look at the screen instead of just looking at kids in my classroom.
So how do you recover from, I guess you could say, a burnout?
Yeah, I mean, I crash. I live in Tucker, so I live like 30 minutes away from the school. So like my car ride home is like my recovery time. So I'll like put a podcast on because that's what I do. And like if someone calls me, I try not to answer it. I might listen to music if I'm in the mood, but like I need that time to just like decompress. And then, I'll take my dog for like a long walk. So I say like every day I walk like 3 miles with my dog.
Oh, wow.
It's like take an hour-long walk, and just like that helps me kind of get out of the mindset of just like feeling rushed, feeling stressed, trying to make sure that every kid is learning.
Has COVID-19 put in a lot more stress on engaging the students and making sure, like you said, you want your students to understand the material?
I feel like with COVID-19 that I'm planning double lessons for every class period because I have to have stuff for the in-person kids, but I also have stuff for the at-home kids. So in years past, I would just like spend 90 minutes delivering content, reviewing it, maybe doing a couple activities, a couple demonstrations, watching a video or two. I can't do that the same way. So I'm having to, I'm pre-recording things for the virtual kids to watch. And I'm having to kind of redevelop all of my lessons so that they're more suitable for the folks who are only participating through Zoom. So it has been tough because of COVID for sure.
What is your favorite memory at Lanier?
My favorite memory at Lanier comes from my first AP Psych class. It was my first year teaching. I only had 25 kids who were in my AP Psych class, and I was fairly new to it. And it felt like we were learning alongside each other. So I just remember the last day of school with those kids. We were in room 400. We were just in a big circle, and I got to share with them how much I had learned from them and how much they meant to me. And they got to share the highlights of their year. And it was like just like the most beautiful bonding moment that I've ever had with a class. So I love teaching AP Psych, and that first class, that first group of kids really set the tone for how that class isn't just about learning the content, but it's also about forming positive relationships and getting to know one another and support one another.
How important are relationships between teachers and students?
It's so important. And that's what's made the virtual teaching so hard, is like, I don't really feel like I get to know my virtual students as well. Like my in-person kids, I get to joke with, like they come in before the bell rings, we get to talk about stuff. And like during transitions, going from this part of the activity to this part, or like while a quiz is happening, I can kind of walk by and like see what they're doodling in their notebook, or what their game they're playing on their phone at the end of class, or who their friends are, who they walk down the hall with. And like all those things help build relationships and help me get to know students better. And like I'm not getting that with the virtual students. So it's tough because I teach because I want kids to learn, but I also teach because y'all are fun. Like being around teenagers and high schoolers, it's fun. Like every day y'all do funny things, y'all say ridiculous things. Bailey Bradford?
No,
I have Bailey Bradford in 2 classes. She's in my peer leadership class, and she's also taking AP Psych this year. She says the funniest things, and was like, I appreciate that. So the students who open up and share things, it's highlights of every day.
I would also agree with you because I'm doing virtual, and one of the great the things that I like to do is just get to know the teacher, and I really want to get to know my teachers this year, but it's really hard. And yeah, so I definitely agree with you over there.
You miss out on all the little side conversations and the way they decorate their room or their desk, or the funny things they say before class starts. Like you're missing out on some of that.
Yeah, it's hard, but yeah.
And I'm saying hilarious things before and after class all the time. Just like nothing but great jokes.
I'm missing out. I hope I could go back next semester.
Yeah, for the real fun.
Yeah. Man, that's another question I have for you is, I think this one of the first questions I ever had for you when I realized that you went to Harvard. I was like, wait, Harvard, yeah, wait, why is there someone who went to Harvard teaching at Lanier? So I wanted to ask you, what made you want to become a teacher? Especially, I guess there's kind of like a stereotype for people who go to Ivy League schools to be, I don't know, like celebrities or doing something like going to the moon or something like that. So what made you want to become what made you want to become a teacher?
So I had really good teachers when I was in high school. So some folks that actually, if you go down to Longhorn Boulevard and look at the old teachers of the year, I had some of those teachers when I was in high school. And so I knew how important it was to have a good teacher. And like, I liked school growing up. Like you get to hang out with your friends all day. You get to learn new things. It's a fun environment. Okay. And I know that like some folks, don't love school or getting up early stinks. I agree with that part. But I enjoy school. So I kind of knew going into college that I was interested in doing teaching as a career. So that allowed me to really explore different subject areas while I was in college. I studied religion, I studied psychology, and I pretty much knew the whole time that I wanted to teach. And I always thought about coming back to Gwinnett afterwards. So it really helped me out knowing that I didn't have to stress about trying to get into law school or med school or business school. I don't do this for the money, obviously. Teachers, we don't make very much, so we're not doing this for the money. We do it because we enjoy it. So I had good teachers, and I wanted to help out students the way that those folks had helped me out when I was in high school.
Final question. What advice would you give to students who may want to become a teacher, a coach, someone who works with younger people?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, I hope that you do it because you really love spending time with teenagers and because you want to share things with them and help support them. So I would say that you need to put yourself in positions where you can get practice doing that, whether it's, tutoring freshmen, right? Or tutoring elementary school students, or leading lessons in your club, or speaking up in class, or helping explain things to your classmates. So it's like, get lots of practice with it. If you have younger siblings, try and help them out with their homework, things like that, to make sure that it's something that you actually enjoy doing and that you do well. And then at that point, I say, pay attention to your teachers and take notes of what they do well and when you learn best. Because the things that they're doing that help you learn, those are things that you might want to do in the future if you decide to think about education. So I have some great books about teaching if you want to, come by my classroom at Lanier High School, room 820, if you want to borrow a book. But there's an author, his name is Jonathan Kozol. His last name is Kozol. And he writes these books about what it's like being a teacher and what kind of impact teachers can have on kids' lives. And those books kind of helped me prepare for teaching as well, and made me feel inspired to do what I do.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Jones, for joining us for this episode of Lanier Listens. Make sure to sign up for MP Psych and Peer Leadership.
I'm
looking forward to the next group to make connections with.
Class registration will start soon, I am sure. So thank you for having me, Daniel. I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me share.
Thank you for coming on. We'll see you guys later.